Yakubu Adesokon, we've said a lot about him already. Tunde, this guy doesn't look like he's tired because Paralympic champion Yakubu Adesokon has set a new world record. He set a new world record mark of 176 kg to take the under 49 kg title at the International Paralympic Committee Powerlifting Asian Open Championship in Kuala Lumpur. That was just a couple of days ago. So this guy isn't tired. He's setting records. He holds the world record. He's setting it. He's shifting the barriers.
Olympic
It doesn't look like he's getting tired. But other countries are also closing in on us because everybody now knows that, look, the Nigerians are just cleaning out in powerlifting. Let's go and have our share.
Yeah, it's a good one for Yakubu Adesokon. One of those athletes that actually saved Nigerian face at the London
when the able-bodied guys couldn't win anything.
When the able-bodied guys
couldn't win a bamboo medal.
Exactly. So he has just been showing that he's a Nigerian, and he has been showing that he will set the record and he will break the record. And hopefully the administrators in the NSC and the federation should be able to support guys like this. It shouldn't just be about football.
The president did a lot for these guys. We must commend Mr. President.
Yeah.
He did a lot for these guys, and it has turned things around for them. A lot of them. Exactly. It has turned things around.
Also the minister as well, leading on to the London Olympics. Remember, a major departure from what we had for the Paralympians in the past. He put them in quality accommodation, excellent training facilities were put at their disposal. Normally they were usually thrown in a dark corner. I only remembered when they came to the podium to collect their medals. But you have to look at the kind of structure that has given the likes of Yakubu Adesokon the platform to succeed, where normally Nigeria would not succeed, and hope that we can replicate and multiply these kind of platforms to give other athletes who would never really have a chance at limelight, to also come forward and express themselves. Where we have a Yakubu Adesokon, I'm sure we can get at least 20 more.
They're all over our streets. They're all over our streets. Those who can be useful to themselves through powerlifting. All right, let's move away from powerlifting now and talk about the Obudu African Nations Mountain Running Championships. That will be taking place alongside the Obudu International Mountain Race, and that's because a lot of countries have confirmed that they will be taking part at the competition on the 23rd of November. Calabar is the place to be. On the 16th, we'll go there, pick a World Cup ticket, then we'll go back a week after.
We might even stay there.
Well, we can stay. Just to Obudu. 5 African countries will be taking part, fielding teams at the 5th African Nations Mountain Running Championship, which will hold alongside the Obudu International Mountain Race on Saturday, November 25 at the Obudu Ranch Resort in Obudu, Cross River State. And Ethiopia, Kenya, Cameroon, Nigeria, Uganda have confirmed they will be participating in the championship. So Ethiopia can stay after the hammering they get on the 16th. They can stay and win this one. They can win this one.
That is the thing. I don't even want them to win this one.
No, they can. We can
just win this one.
It will take time.
It will take time.
We can allow them to win the mountain race.
No, there's so much money here. Why
they can win the mountain race.
Unless you have any Ethiopian-born Nigerians.
I could train.
If you have any Ethiopian-born Nigerians, then you have a realistic chance of winning this. But for me, it's a straight fight between the Kenyans and the Ethiopians once again.
And probably the Ugandans.
Probably the Ugandans as well, because the kind of altitudes in which they live and were born, it favors, it gives them a comparative advantage in this kind of competition.
All right, let's come back now as we wrap up the show. I'll spend the last few minutes that we have to read your comments. Connect Ogun at Connect Ogun says, what we serve Ethiopia, because I put it on Twitter that we serve them Swedish bitters. We serve them Swedish bitters. And it says, this is the Nigerian delicacy, served raw and undiluted. Our street football, our pride.
Nelson Nelly on Facebook says, you ask what kind of football the Eagles are playing? The answer is they are playing fast and furious football.
That's right.
Fast and furious. And furious football. All right, that's
Nigerian.
And from Dennis Arokoyo, Sheyi, he says, he goes another angle, says, these boys are playing terrorist football. Extremely militant on the pitch.
All right. Someone is asking us, who are the Nigerian referees on duty during the African World Cup qualifiers. I don't know too much about the African referees. I know Peter Edibe is always in the mix. Paul Bassi is the match commissioner, from Algeria, Burkina Faso.
Yes.
But I'll find out for you if Nigerian referees will be on duty. John Oluwamitito. Oh, I hope I didn't kill this name. He says, when I look at the Eaglet team, I see a team with potential if they are properly managed. That's what it says.
Exactly.
That is the issue. That is the issue. Achieving success is one. Maintaining success is another thing.
Maintaining success, and of course the gradual progression of these players to the under 20, and of course later on to the
not just making them progress, because some may not keep up. Some may drop by the wayside. But those who are keeping up, we must ensure that they go to where they are properly developed.
Exactly.
That is the challenge.
And that for me is where the difficulty lies.
Where is Cristiano Ronaldo?
How are you going to prevent these players from
going to Europe and going to some backwaters?
We have no legislation that prevents players who are within a certain age from moving outside this country. In fact, players as young as 8 or 9 can leave this country and nobody bats an eyelid. So until we have some kind of structure that keeps them in place, and we improve our local league that in such a standard that they see no shame in plying their trade in the domestic game for at least 2 or 3 years before they move abroad, like it is done in South America, then we'll start thinking about how we can track their progression. But right now, nothing stops these players from going to Turkey,
backwaters. We really need to put something
Azerbaijan or Tajikistan.
Okay, let's update some results for you of matches going on. Real Sociedad United still 0-0. Shakhtar Donetsk, Bayer Leverkusen still 0-0. FC Copenhagen still 1-0 over Galatasaray of Turkey. Juventus 1-0 over Real Madrid. The penalty goal scored by Arturo Vidal. And then Olympiacos 1-0 over Benfica. PSG 0-0 Anderlecht.
PSG without Edison Cavani and Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
City 3-1 over CSK Moscow. Victoria Pleasant Bayern still 0-0 at halftime. These are the results of today's games. Tomorrow there will be games as well in the UEFA Champions League. Let's just run through the fixtures for you of matches to be played tomorrow. FC Barcelona will be taking on Steaua Bucharest. Chelsea will be home to Schalke 04. Dortmund will be hosting Arsenal. That's easily one of the biggest games of the night. Napoli against Marseille. Zenit against FC Porto. Atletico Madrid will be taking on Austria Vienna. Ajax against Celtic. And then the biggest of them all at the Nou Camp, Barcelona against AC Milan. So these are the fixtures for you tomorrow.
I beg your pardon, Zlatan Ibrahimovic passed a late fitness test and is actually on the pitch
for PSG.
For PSG,
For PSG, I beg your pardon. Our good friend from Owerri, Solomon Onu, the Beach Eagles need the Binegu to be super again. His absence caught the Sand Eagles qualification for the World Cup the last time. His presence will make them thick. That's what it says.
Popola Michael Adegbola on Facebook says, these boys are the youngest and the best we've ever produced in any Youth World Cup. We should try and keep them for the for under 20 and under 23, and then our national team has a glorious future.
And finally, this one, Paul Ayanwu at Paul Ayanwu 24 says, are you of the opinion that some of these Eagles should be fast-tracked? Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2.
A few of them can be invited to come into the Eagles. And train and camp with the Eagles. But right now, throw them into the mix, maybe not. But
maybe not.
I think a few of these guys.
I think it's too early. I think
it's
they've been good. If there was an exceptional player among them, yes, maybe. But they've been very good
as a team.
Yeah, as a team. But if there was an exceptional individual, maybe.
All right, we have to wrap it up on that note. And of course, I say thank you to you for watching Sports. And don't forget, Friday, special preview of the final FIFA Under-17 World Cup. But keep celebrating. The Golden Eagles are looking golden all over again. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye now.
It's the gathering of the kings. For 5 days, the windows of heaven will open for the downpour of his glory and The Kingdom Wealth Conference 2013. Ministry: Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo, Pastor Olumide Emmanuel, Pastor Amos Fenwa.